Welcome in to the COVID concerts here on the Q96.5 FM. I am lucky enough today to have a gentleman with me from Austin, Texas. His name is Danny Britt. And I have been watching Danny Britt every Wednesday night throughout this entire pandemic. And it is wonderful to have you on the show with us today, Danny.
Well, I'm glad to be here. This quarantine thing and isolation, all we can do is internet shows. And so that's what I've been doing, solo shows every Wednesday night for about, I guess, 6 or 7 weeks now. And we do some Grouchy Like Riley, that's our band, shows. And we're doing another one of those this coming Saturday night. We're going to do it live from one of our favorite places called Don's Depot, if you can see on my shirt there. Don's Depot.
Wonderful plug, wonderful plug.
One of the famous bars in Austin, and it's not open. A few of the venues are opening actually tonight. The Broken Spoke in Austin is opening tonight, but most of the venues are not opening. The Saxon Pub, the Continental Club, Don's Depot, all of the big clubs they're choosing not to open yet and wait a little bit longer. So we're going to do a live stream with the Grouchy Like Riley trio, which is Marvin Dykehouse, Chip Dolan, and myself. And when we have the band, then we have bass and drums, and it's an electric band. But Saturday night, we're going to do an acoustic trio with the three of us from Don's Depot, and there won't be anybody there but us. But we'll do it at 7 o'clock Central Time Saturday night, if anybody wants to tune in for that. And all you have to do is go to Facebook, my Facebook page, facebook.com/Red Dog Music. That's my music page. It's REDDAWGMUSIC. Or they can just, for non-Facebook people, they can just go to our website, reddogmusic.com, REDDAWGmusic.com, and watch and enjoy the show at 7 o'clock Central Time tomorrow night, Saturday night.
Tell me a little bit about Red Dog Music.
Red Dog Music, we started this as our record company in the end of 2000, year 2000. Mm-hmm. We decided we needed an independent name to put out just our music. And we were actually, my wife Renee and I were actually in New Zealand. And we saw this restaurant. It was called One Red Dog or Two Red Dogs or something like that. And we thought that was a great name. So we came back and trademarked the name Red Dog Music. And we couldn't use DOG for dog because that was a beer at the time, Red Dog. Mm-hmm. So we did DAWG, Red Dog Music. And that's where we put out all our music and promote everything through that arm.
That's amazing. Do you and your friends there in Grouchy Like Riley record at that studio and other musicians in Austin?
Oh, yes. We recorded the last record we did, the Grouchy Like Riley record, which is about a year and a half old. We recorded it at Moonhouse Records, which is Chris Gage, his studio, if you know Chris Gage. And
yeah, I met Chris Gage at Don's Depot. How's that?
Oh, yeah, exactly. He has a wonderful studio. He's a great engineer. And we recorded this last Grouchy Like Riley record there, which is in South Austin. Mm-hmm. And it was great. We love working with Chris and his studio. So we'll probably record the next upcoming Red Dog Grouchy Like Riley record there as well. So, but we've used lots of studios here. We've recorded at Cedar Creek Studios, which is a really great studio in Austin. Mm-hmm. Dixie Chicks recorded one of their biggest records ever there. Great studio. We've done that. And we've recorded at a lot of different places. I just recorded an acoustic record in between the last Grouchy Like Riley record and the upcoming Grouchy Like Riley record. I thought that was a good time to just do an acoustic record, just me, my guitar, and I brought in Chip to play a couple of piano parts here and there, and Marvin to play just a couple little guitar parts, but it's largely very acoustic, just me, my guitar, all about the songs, and not a lot of production. And I recorded that in a private studio in Northwest Austin. I have a friend that has a private studio, but it's a tremendous private studio. I mean, I can't even describe how good this is. And he has all of the best Neumann top dollar mics. And so it's been a great experience doing that. And I only have one more song to record, and then that record will be finished. We'll put it out.
Wow, that's amazing. Hey, tell me a little bit about your compadres there in Grouchy.
Marvin Dykehouse and Chip Dolan, those the three of us are Grouchy Like Riley, and we do acoustic trio, and we have like 4 bass players we use, 4 or 5 drummers we use, and it all comes down to what we're doing and who's available, and they're all world-class musicians. So we're happy with any of the drummers and any of the bass players that we're using at the time. But Marvin, world-class touring professional musician for 40 plus years. Chip Dolan, same thing. I've known both of them for many, many years, and we've played together on and off. And, you know, Marvin has toured. Tish Hinojosa, if you're familiar with Tish.
Tish was up here in Ohio with us about 2 years ago. Max brought her in.
Well, good. Yeah, Tish and Chip both toured with Tish. Marvin and Chip both toured with Tish all over the world for probably pushing 30 years, 25 anyway.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, and Marvin and Chip have always been sidemen, and they've always played with, Chip did a stint with the Mavericks when their keyboard was gone. They've played with everybody over the many, many years. They're just incredible musicians. And I've always been lucky to play with them when they weren't playing with somebody else. And so we just finally said, look, why don't we just make a record, have a project called Grouchy Like Riley, and make a record. And it turned out really well. And people have really enjoyed that record. So, and we get so many calls. We do a lot of band shows with that band.
That's amazing. How did the three of you guys hook up?
Chip, I moved to Texas in 1980. Chip moved to Texas about 1983, I believe. I might be wrong, but right in there. Marvin moved to Texas from Wisconsin about 1986. And I'll tell you, I know exactly how, now my wife knew Chip since he moved to Texas, because my wife ran one of the hottest bars on 6th Street in those days, and Chip was in the house band. So she was good friends with Chip since the time he moved to town, basically. And so I knew Chip from that bar, from those days. I didn't play with him then. He was playing in a rock and roll band, and they played 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s songs. But then I met Marvin. There was an incredible place here called Threadgills. I'm sure you know of Threadgills.
Most definitely.
And the original Threadgills, which just, we're sad, it just closed its doors. It was in North Austin. And the other Threadgills, the downtown Threadgills, closed several months ago. But the original Threadgills closed because of the coronavirus. It just couldn't stand it any longer. But in the old days, in the late 80s, early 90s, every Wednesday night at Threadgills it was called Sitting and Singing for Your Supper. And all of these world-class musicians were there and played in the house band. And Jimmy Dale Gilmore, Champ Hood from Uncle Walt's band, Marvin, great bass player by the name of David Heath, Ron played drums. And there were so many people that floated in and out of that house band. Sarah Campbell, on and on and on. So many people. And then you had the house band, and then everybody showed up on Wednesday nights, and lots of musicians sat in and played 2 or 3 songs with the house band. And, you know, incredible world-class musicians showed up and played. And that's how I met Marvin in those days, because I would come in and sit in with the house band. So we've all known each other for a long time and played together for a long time. And so now we have a project called Grouchy Like Riley. And the name Riley, Grouchy Like Riley, came from an incredible keyboard player by the name of Riley Osborne, who was, he's a legendary Texas piano player, one of the best ever to come out of Texas. And he just always looks grouchy. He's not, but he always looks grouchy. And so we call this band Grouchy.
That is amazing. I have heard, in fact, I have your album. Okay. I love it. The very first time that I saw it or heard anything about it was on Austin City Jams. Okay. Where Kirby had it up there. And I'll tell you what, when I watched those 3 songs, those 3 stuck in my mind for a month. I love those songs.
Well, good. I like that.
They're tremendous. How do you come up with those? I mean, basically, you've got 3. Let's put a shameless plug in too, okay, for Kirby Walker and Austin City Jams, because that has really been my godsend for the last 6 weeks. That saved my sanity. I'm going to tell you. So tell me a little bit about Kirby and how you guys got together, and then we'll get back to those songs.
Okay, Kirby's. We love Kirby and Maureen, and it's really funny. This probably wouldn't happen very many places other than Austin because of all the live music in Austin. But Kirby and Maureen have a beautiful house in Northwest Austin, and it's on a hillside, and the bottom floor was where their dogs lived. It was just, concrete floors, and that's where their dogs lived and so forth. And then Kirby's a great music supporter, and Maureen, and they've always been plugged into the Austin Music Network of people, musicians. And so Kirby came up with the idea. He said, well, why don't we just build a bar in this room? And Maureen, God bless her, went along with it. And so they built Austin City Jams, which you've seen on the videos. If you've never been there in person, this is a real bar. I mean, it is a full-blown bar with draft beers and any kind of drink you'd like. It's just pretty cool. Full-blown stage, professional lighting, professional sound, cocktail tables. It seats about 40 people comfortably. You can put 50 in it if you want to get tight. And then they have the deck outside that they pipe the music out to the deck. So if the weather's nice and you want another 30 or 40 people, can sit on the deck and you can see the stage through the windows and hear all the music pumped outside. And they only do maybe tops 5 or 6 shows a year. I mean, that's all they do. So we were very fortunate to get to be friends with Kirby and Maureen, and we put out this Grouchy Like Riley record. And Kirby said, well, why don't you come do a show, a Grouchy Like Riley show in our house? And he said, you'll get great videos from it. It's all free. And so we did. And so that's where those videos that you saw came from.
We were lucky enough. We came out, myself, my wife, and 2 other couples came out from Northwest Ohio to Austin last year. And we got to go to a Sunday night jam at Kirby's house.
Oh, yeah.
we still talk about that. We are like kings of Northwest Ohio because of that experience.
Oh, it's incredible. It's hard to, Kirby says, yeah, we have a 2-bedroom house over a bar. House. And it's this just beautiful spot in Northwest Hills, as we call it, Northwest Austin. And it's fabulous. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah. The 3 songs up there, and Austin City Jams is where you can find them. Everything's Fine, Worry About Me, and Matters Most. Yep. And a collaboration amongst the 3 of you in writing those songs, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, those songs, as we do, the way we work is one of us may come up with an idea, or a melody, or even a partial song, or sometimes pretty much a whole song. And then we'll bring it to the other 2 guys and say, okay, here's what I have. What do you think? For instance, the first song you mentioned, Everything's Fine.
Mm-hmm.
I had this. I got $1 in my pocket, I got shoes on my feet. I got a hat on my head. I keep cool in the heat. And I don't know where I'm going, but I gotta move along. Now maybe higher elevation is the place that I belong. So I played that much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, and then I played a little chorus that I had. And I said, okay, you guys grouchy it up. Come up with some additions. And Chip came up with, he massaged the chorus around to what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the verses and the chorus, and then we came out of the chorus, and then you'll hear Marvin came up with the whole bridge. Never thought about you leaving. I never thought you'd say goodbye. Now I can't help but believe it, that up ahead is clear blue skies. So Marvin came up with that bridge that we massaged around. And so that's how we work, and how that song came about from start to finish. I got $1 in my pocket, I got shoes on my feet, I got a hat on my head, I keep it cool in the heat, and I don't know where I'm going, but I gotta move along. Maybe our elevation is a place that I belong. I got gas in my car, it's humming right along. I got the radio blasting, they're playing our songs. I'm out on the highway, just following the lines. I'm going through some changes, but I'm gonna be just fine, fine, everything's fine. I ain't got nothing but time. I lost everything I had and half my mind. And I'm fine, fine, doing alright. Got big blue skies, the stars at night. Ain't nothing gonna get me down, I'm just fine. There's a lot I could say, there's a lot I can do, but no matter what I'm thinking, it all comes back to you. I can't clear my mind away from all of the time you and me were together, but I'm gonna be just fine, fine, everything's fine. I ain't got nothing but time. I lost everything I had and half my mind. And I'm fine, fine, doing alright. Got big blue skies, the stars at night. Ain't nothing gonna get me down, I'm just fine. Never thought about you leaving. I never thought you'd say goodbye. And now I can't help but believing that up ahead is clear blue sky. And I'm fine, fine, everything's fine. I ain't got nothing but time. I lost everything I had and half my mind. And I'm fine, fine, doing alright.
Got big blue skies, the stars at night. Ain't nothing gonna get me down, I'm just fine. Ain't nothing gonna get me down, I'm just fine. I'm just fine. I'm just fine.
You know, that's amazing, because in those three songs you have two somewhat heartbroken breakup type songs, and then one that just kind of tugs at your heart because it is something that we all feel all the time.
Yeah.
How do you put yourself in that kind of mood? How do you get that? I mean, you've been married for quite a long time. I don't think you've gone through a recent breakup, right?
Nope. I've been happily married for 30 years. So all is well on that front. And, you know, it's another song on that record that we didn't turn into a video. It's a video you can find it on reddogmusic.com, but it's not a video through Austin City Jams. But it's funny on that note, I was traveling with Jerry Jeff Walker back in 87, 88, 89. We ran around the world together. And I used to write tidbits of songs on airplanes and so forth. That's where I wrote a lot of stuff. And I had this song that I'd started on a trip. You mentioned I'm happily married. Well, I'd been with my wife a short period. And now Jerry Jeff and I would go out on the road. We'd be gone. You know, the longest we'd ever stay gone would be a month. But usually it was like 2 weeks out, week home, 2 weeks out, a week home. That was kind of the norm. But there was one time I remember we were gone like 32 or 3 days or something like that. But that was longer than normal. But anyway, I was leaving on an airplane. And I just met or been with my now wife not too long. And I had this song that I'd written probably 6, 7 different ways over a period of 27 probably years. I'd written it as a waltz. I'd written it as a 4/4 song, all these different ways. And I just never thought it was finished, so I never recorded it. So now we fast forward to, I have a Nashville songwriter friend by the name of John Ems, I-M-S, John Ems. He's a songwriter, just an incredible songwriter. And he comes to Texas and we sit down and he'll say, oh, what do you got? What do you want to work on? Blah, blah, blah. And we've written several songs together. And I said, well, I have this song that's it's about 27 years old, but it's just not finished. And I played it for him. And he said, okay. And so we finished it that afternoon, and it's on the Grouchy Like Riley record now. But it started because I was leaving on an airplane with Jerry Jeff. I'll just play a bit of it.
Let me ask you this. Could I get you, I need to take a commercial break. Could I get you to play that song into the commercial break and then keep you for a little bit afterwards?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.